Okay. So can you see the presentation now? So before we could actually start with the session, I want to know my audience. For that, I am just engaging some polls. First of all, let me know your city of residence. Pune, Hyderabad, Pune, Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai, Nagpur, Tirupati, Nashik, Gurgaon, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Pune. Great. So 25 people have already. I'm just going to close it in 5 seconds. Okay, great. So another thing which I want to know about you, just one more, is that I want to know your qualification. So you just have to type your qualification over. Okay, whether it's engineering or maybe post graduation. I can see BBA, BE, BE Civil. Some are pursuing MBA. Great. MTech, architect. Great. So okay, um, we'll go ahead now. Video is disabled. Okay. Yeah, there was some setting issue. Okay. So we'll start with the session now. Since I know the audience now, I'll be able to deliver in that way only. So first of all, what I'll do is, in just a few moments, I will introduce to you who I am and the institute through which you are going to learn this. Okay. So as you can see on your screen, Institute of Real Estate and Finance. This is institute which is focused on shaping real estate leaders, as you can see. Okay, this institute is based in Pune, but it is having many programs running offline and online. So we have certification in real estate, construction, and home finance. It was established in 2010. Then it started in its first training center in 2012. Then first e-learning platform was started. It became the member of National Real Estate Development Council also. So starting e-learning was basically the reason was to reach many people. It also got NDTV award for best real estate sector institute and Devang Mehta B School award. Then it is the only institute which was invited by the government of India for RERA in Parliament. It won the Best Institute Award for Real Estate Sector. Then it started its full-time program in Symbiosis, Pune. 40 students got placed, and right now it is India's number one institute or training platform, which is having about 1,000 learners. Okay. Right now, this institute is running one program in PGP, in which you have to actually pay after the placement. That is the thing. The video is not visible. You can see the presentation, right, Basavaraj? And you can see me too. I think some lighting issue is there over here. Should I put on some more lights? Okay, okay. I may not be visible properly, but you can see the presentation. There is some lighting issue over here. Okay. So next, these are the people involved in this institute formation and everything. Mr. Abhay Kumar sir is the co-founder and director, and you can see the okay. So these are the awards which the institute has got. Divang Mehta Award, NDTV Award, got featured in Knowledge Review magazine also. These are some of the glimpses of the institute, where the engineers are learning by going on site. They are meeting many new industry-oriented people. Okay, these are some companies which in which actually the students got placed. Basav, if you're having some issue, you will have to refresh the browser which you're using. So basically, I just want to instruct everyone that suppose if you're not able to see or hear me or not see the presentation, you have to refresh your browser. And if suppose something goes wrong from my side, I will come to know about that, and I will jump back right in 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, just if there's some technical issue with my laptop. Okay. Okay, there is one more instruction which I was supposed to give you. Yeah, okay, these only. So these are the some well-known Indian companies in which our students got placed. So this is basically regarding tie-ups and collaborations. Currently, IRF is collaborated with Lincoln University College, which is having its own postgraduate program. Okay, so you get a certificate from an international university, and it helps you in placements. There are some voices coming from my building. I don't know what they're. Just ignore them. So these are the programs. Okay, postgraduate programs. Actually, it's a dog. Just ignore. Real estate. These are the programs actually. So we'll move ahead. We'll move fast because our focus is on learning the software today. So this is actually information about my company, Optave Consultant and Engineers. We provide project management consultancy, then training in planning software like Microsoft Project and Primavera P6. We are also a developer in Pune. We have some real estate residential projects and in contracts also. Okay, we'll move ahead now. Okay, these are my clients, basically my company clients. Group Surya and IIF are for training, and other are for project management consultancies. Okay. Okay, so let's get started with today's session, for which we all are here. So regarding me, I have 4 years of experience in project coordination, and my key skills you can see are project coordination, Microsoft Project, and Primavera P6. So this is just a few key skills which I have mentioned over here. Since I am having my own firm, I do have many other skills also. But right now, this is what matters to you, right? Guys, if you're having some issue, because I can see over here, the presentation is going well from my side. If there is any issue, you have to refresh your browser, please. So yes, today's session is Introduction to Construction Project Management Software. So before we actually, yeah, let me tell you one thing. In today's session, we are actually going to dive into the softwares also. Okay, we are going to actually go and see how the software looks, and we're going to just hit a few buttons. Okay, since it is just an introduction. But before that, we need to know a few things. Since I can see 1 minute whether I have used this poll or not. Yeah, I want to know your experience basically. I am just launching one poll. Just select one of them. I want to know your experience. I can see that maximum you are fresher with experience between 0 to 1. Okay, we do have some senior people also. It's great to see you here, sir, and it's great that you want to learn this software. Okay, I'll just share this with everyone. Great, great. I've got my audience now. Yes, Basavraj, don't worry. You'll get an email. Okay. So yes, regarding why do we need to learn construction project management software? Okay. So for the freshers, you need to really understand this. There are other people in this presentation who are attending this presentation, and they're experienced. They have went on site and seen a few things happening in front of them. They already know this. But for you, for the freshers, why do we need this construction project management software? Okay, so basically it gives you the overall duration of the project. When you are using a software, you are able to create the overall this thing schedule we make in the software, and because of that you understand the overall duration that is required to complete whatever scope you want to. Okay, regarding any project. Then it helps in scheduling risk management. So scheduling risk management is about, for example, consider in construction we do face problems in rainy season. Okay, so at that point of time you are not able to construct anything, especially activities like RCC and external plaster, right? The few things which are finishing items which are inside, you can construct, you can work on them. Okay, so scheduling risk management is regarding that. Once you use the software, you have to actually put in some inputs in the software where you can avoid such things. So you can avoid some rainy days. You can prepare in a better way for those kind of risks. There are many other dynamics to that, which are obviously need to be learned. Then there are some time driven costs. So this is one thing which actually matters a lot to whom? Project managers, your directors, the owners of the company, because these are overheads. Even if you delay the project by 1 day, there is some cost associated to it. There are some salaries, there are some overheads like electricity, water, and everything. So the time driven costs which are there, these can be calculated, and these can be controlled by using a software. Okay. Then there is calculating the project feasibility. It helps in economic, technical, and operating decisions. So how does this help? Is that basically when you are going to launch a new project, or when you're going to start with some new venture, if you know the schedule upfront, so you can calculate the economic impact, the technical and operating decisions also. So in case of economy, you can calculate the um, this thing one I'll just yeah you can calculate uh, the cost that is incurred, the total cost that is incurred, okay, because of the schedule or because of the timeline. Then there are some technical things also, like during calculating the feasibility, you can decide the technology which you want to use for constructing your building. So suppose during project feasibility you come to know that okay, we are going to construct it in Maiban, or tunnel formwork. So it does have impact on the schedule also. So these things you can decide in upfront by taking help of schedule. Then there are some operating decisions, like in real time when you actually start working on the project, what are the problems that are going to be faced. Then it helps in cash flow decisions. Okay. So in case of cash flow, since the software can give you the overall cost of the project, and it can give you timeline costs also, means that in which month how much money you are going to spend on the project, that can be actually given by the software. Okay. So this helps you in arranging that money. So for example, you want to prepare for the next quarter, and you know that you need this much money in the next quarter. Then the people who are actually the decision makers, or the sales people, you can say, who actually arrange money, um, they have some targets in mind. So this can help them to create targets for themselves. And if they are not going to or able to do that much sales, then you have to do some capital infusion also by taking loans or something like that. Okay. Then resources, obviously resources is a very important part of it. Since resources are there, resources are always going to be needed, and you have the whole quantities upfront many times, but you don't know which resource is going to need when, and how to arrange it, and what is the tat or a turnaround time of that specific resource. Okay. So this you can do by using the software, so that the resources are reached on the site exactly when they are needed. Then it can give us some short-term goals. By short-term goals, I mean that hitting the milestones basically. So as most of you must be knowing that in whenever you go and buy a flat, okay. So there are some stage-wise payments you have to do. So these stage-wise payments are actually milestones for project managers, because once they hit the milestone of a specific slab, which gives the money, or which actually helps the director to get money from the customers, then that is going to help the project. So it gives such kind of short-term goals. In case of contracting, you can say that the running bills, which are pre-decided in the contract, are your milestones. You have to hit them, because it gives you money, okay, and you have to use that money for construction. Then it helps us in executing, monitoring, and controlling real time. It actually helps you in real time and helps you in take decisions regarding what to do next. Okay. So we'll move ahead. Okay, so here are a few things regarding civil engineers, project coordinators, planners. What you civil engineer is a person with the knowledge of construction on site. Okay, but project coordinator or planner or planning engineer is a person which has some knowledge of management also, or okay. Then there is a scheduling engineer. Is there some issue? Hello, am I audible? Okay, okay, great. So okay, okay, great. So, a planning engineer is a person who is actually having the whole vision in front of him. Okay, so he knows the project, he knows the timeline, he knows the costs, he knows everything. The person who is working on the site, he is actually focusing on the site work, or you can say construction. Okay, I don't know what the issue is. But a planning engineer or a scheduling engineer or a project coordinator is a person who is having the whole picture in front of him. He can actually, take decisions, major decisions or broader sense decisions regarding how to steer the project, right? So these are the qualifications you need. And to get these qualifications of planning engineer, project coordinator, you need to learn software. You need to learn Primavera. You need to learn Microsoft Project. Okay. So we'll move ahead. Okay. So, what is a project? Please type in the comment box. What is a project according to you? Please type in the comment box. In short, what is a project? Am I audible to you? Yeah. So, type in the comment box. What is a project? A unique endeavor. Did you just Google it? Okay. Work completion in a time frame. Okay. Great, great. I can see so many people answering. Simply a task with specific time period. Project has time and cost deliverables. Okay. I want to make it simple for you. I know there are many definitions. There are many definitions available on the internet, and you all must be reading them. But I want to make it simple for you. I don't know why I'm just not audible to myself. It should work actually. Amalgamation of different activities. Okay, yeah. So most of the people have answered it, and you have got some similar answers actually. These are basically ratified things. I don't want you people to keep a project in mind as something, as a definition. I want to uh, just, we'll go ahead with it. Okay, you'll come to know. So project is a temporary endeavor, and it is unique Okay, it is having some start and end. This is what you had told me, right? All these definitions you had told me, and you're correct. But I want to make it simple for you. You can see an image over here of Honda City 2020. What do you think? Is it a project? I'm just launching one poll. Just answer that. Great. I'm getting the answers. So most of the people are saying that the newly launched 2020 Honda City is a project. A few are saying can't say, and okay. So 20% people are saying that either it's no or can't say. 80% people are saying that it is a project. Okay, great. So this is how you keep it in mind. Basically, this Honda City, it is a car which we are seeing since a long time. It's about, I don't know the history of Honda, but I think at least 30, 40 years down the line, in the history, this car is on the road. So right now, the car which is in front of you, okay, it is a new version of Honda City. So this is a project. This specific car only, the car which is in front of you, this car was shown or unveiled in 2020 Auto Expo, right? This images by Autocar, but it was unveiled in Auto Expo. So only this unit which is in front of you right now, it is a project. But the second car which is going to get produced after this car, it's not a project. It is business as usual. You can see it over here, right? I've written somewhere over here. A project is unique in that it is not a routine operation. So the car in front of you, which was unveiled for the first time, or it is a first unit, that is a project. But once this is unveiled and it is ready for production, the second car and lineup that is as usual. Basically, you should understand that whenever something new is created, okay, out of nothing, then it is a project. And if there's something which is already created and just imitating that, then it is not a project. It is business as usual. So why do you think the construction projects are called project? Because every project is unique. Now you may say that, okay, for example, in a big township, there are some similar type of buildings, right? But they are not the same. They cannot be exactly same at all. So every unique building is having its own attributes. Something will change. At least the land is changing, right? So that is why we call it a project. Everything that is in real estate is a project. It cannot be business as usual at all. It's not possible. Even a single apartment or a flat in a building, it's a project in itself. Even if you say that, okay, these flats are replicating, uh, there are multiple flats in a building, and there are similar type of layouts and everything, but technically it cannot be same everything. Something will change, something has to change. Maybe the steel will change, or what you can say, the location changes, the elevation changes, something is changing, right? So uh, in construction, everything that you see around is a project. It's a new endeavor. It is unique. We'll move ahead now. Okay. So these are the project management processes. Okay. Initiating, planning, executing. So initiating means you have to start the project. Planning means you plan everything, take everything into consideration and plan everything according to the timelines, and then you actually start executing it. And when you actually start executing the things, you have to control and monitor. Means you have to keep a watch on what is happening, whether it is going as per plan, and monitor, right? So you have to basically keep a watch on what is happening, and if something is not going as per plan, you have to do something to get it back on the track, right? So that is called controlling. And then after everything is done, closing. Okay. Okay, so these are the fundamentals of project management. Most of you must have read it somewhere in your engineering or online, but these are the things which actually matter for project management. Integration of everything is the must. That is why a software is needed. Okay, scope is defined every time when you are supposed to do a new project. You have to define the scope. Time is limited thanks to Rera. Cost is also limited because it has to be controlled. Otherwise it will just try to enter our profits, right? If you are having any problem, please refresh. I can see 2 3 people messaging that it has paused, but actually it is working. I can see that. Just refresh. Quality is the result of everything you do. I'll come to that. Procurement, yeah, it is important. Timely procurement, human resources, communications, risk management. Risk management is something that if you don't pay attention to, it will just mess up everything. Stakeholder management, stakeholder is a person who is associated with the project. Every person, even the project manager, even the labor, every person, even the investor, even the director, everyone. And with these, you have to bring all these things together in a software, right? That is why we are here and learning it. Yeah, so about quality I was talking. Most of you must have seen this somewhere, I'm sure. But have you ever tried to figure out what is actually inside this? If you could see that this is an equilateral triangle. Okay, so even if one thing, whether it's budget, scope, or time, is changed, the balance just goes off and your quality is hampered. That is what it is saying. So for example, your time schedule stretches. What will happen? The budget or cost, it will come down. That is what it is showing, right? And if your time or schedule, it moves towards the left, towards the scope, what will happen? The budget will shoot up. You must have experienced this on site, the people who are saying that they're experienced, right? When you try to do something in a tight schedule, the cost is going to increase, and scope just cannot be changed. It has to be constant. Then what is the point of doing the project, right? Yes. So these are the inputs for planning, and the outputs are shown on the right side. For inputs, you have to have all these things in place before you make a in software. You have to all these things in place. So contact information should be available with you. All the drawings should be available with you on day one. Specifications should be freezed. What is going to be get constructed at what cost? Specifications need to be freezed on day one. Available resources are to be monitored. Which are the resources which you are having by default with you? Okay. Then site reports, organizational data, construction methods need to be decided. Then you do planning with the help of all this. The result is the activities, relationships between them, method statement, responsibility, reporting levels. project network diagram, activities duration, activities cost. So all these things, whatever outputs you are seeing, these are going to be there in your software. You will be able to see them. Okay. Okay. So this is JB Knowledge Construction Technology Report 2019. Every year it comes. You can see that Microsoft Project is the most used, or 55% used software, and this is global. Okay, this report is for global data. Primavera P6 is also there. It is 47.4%. And then there are some others like Procore, Smartsheet, Asta Power Project. So these are actually the why they are not used that much, because they are not available mainstream. They are a part of some, you can say, ERP system. That is why the percentage is less. But Microsoft Project and Primavera are available on a very large scale. Okay. So learning these two software, Microsoft Project and Primavera P6, will get you covered. Okay, so there are some steps that need to be followed in planning. Okay, first is that you need to break down everything. We call it as work breakdown structure. You must be knowing it. So you have to break down the whole project in small parts so that it's easy to execute it and to actually track it, right? Then you have to understand the sequence and give that sequence in the software, the linking which we say, or predecessors which we call, right? Then there are some activities representation. So basically, whichever activities you enter in Microsoft Project or Primavera, they should be self-explanatory. So for example, if I write RCC first slab, okay, so I have to write over there, I have to mention over there RCC first slab, columns maybe, or beams, RCC first slab beams, or RCC first slab steel. You have to make sure that it is self-informative. So representation is the key. Estimating the resources, time, and cost of individual activities. This is required because you have to put the resources right inside the project. So you need the estimated quantities on day one. Then there is updating. So basically for this, you have to go on site. You have to reach on the site. You have to see what is happening according to your plan. You have to check them uh, visually and report it. In reporting, basically what you're doing is you're creating some reports which can help you or your senior manager or the director of the company to take some decisions. So basically, as someone had actually texted me about when I was just promoting this webinar, that whether you are going to teach me the commands, or actually I'm going to get some help out of it, right? So I want to tell you this thing upfront. I never teach the software. I'm not going to teach the software to you, because the software is something which you can learn it online also, on YouTube also. It is free. You can know the commands. You can just hit on some commands and see what blunders the PC is doing. But you should be able to use it in a systemized manner, right? You should be able to use it as a tool for you and take some decisions based on it. Only then it is going to help you. Otherwise, there is no point of learning any software. What is a software for? Take decisions. Okay, we'll move ahead. So, critical path method, कुछ याद आ रहा है? Someone is asking me, Nemani, whether estimation has to be done by the schedule engineer, or he will get the quantities. So basically, the quantities are derived by the estimation department. Please keep this in mind. You are not supposed to derive any quantities. You get the quantities from them, and you have to enter those quantities in the software, okay, specific to that activity. Critical path method, I don't want to exaggerate more about this. Most of the people know it. But in simple manner, I want to tell you that critical path method is the basis of Microsoft project. It is a base of these softwares. These softwares follow critical path method, whether it is Primavera or Microsoft project. There is PERT also, but critical path method is the most used. Why? Because this is the easiest way to actually track a project. If you go in PERT, there are many complex things. In critical path method, it is simple, crystal clear, and it will just give you great results. Someone is saying that most of the organizations assign their works to planning engineer. It depends. Some people will hire you as estimation and planning engineer, and if you are just hired as a planning engineer, you will not have to derive any quantities. Okay, it depends on individual policies of the companies, right? In critical path, so basically the total duration of the critical activities, or the path or the network diagram that the critical activities follow, is what is critical path method which we are going to use. So in this, what happens that suppose you delay the activities on the critical path, the whole project gets delayed. That is the thing which actually matters to you when you're using a software, right? So you have to make sure that the activities on the critical path are in control. Everything is as per plan. That is your work. And about uh, the number of critical paths, many people ask me whether there are multiple number of critical paths in a project. No, it is not like that. There is only one critical path in any project. It may happen that the critical path may change. For example, if there is some activity which is not on critical path, but if you delayed so much that everything that is going to come ahead of it just gets delayed, then that activity will also become critical. And eventually your critical path will change. The network will change. Okay. Okay. So float. What do you think? What is a float? Type in the comment box. What do you mean by float? Please type in the comment box. What do you think? What is a float? Or even it is called as Slack. Delay time. Extra time we get. High slack minus low slack. What is this, Riddhi? I want you to simplify things. Why do you want to complicate? Minimum time required. Okay. So basically, okay, amount of time that an activity can be delayed without delaying the project completion date. Okay. This is copy paste from Google. Thank you. Okay. So according to me, what is a float? Basically, there are some multiple activities going on in your project, right? And there are some activities which are not on critical path, and those activities actually have float in them. What I mean by that is that if we delay those activities, as I had told you during critical path method, when you delay an activity on a critical path, the whole project gets delayed, right? But suppose if there is some activity which is not on critical path, then even if you delay it by some amount of time, not by unlimited amount of time, there is some limitation to that, because the more you delay it, it may happen that it may become critical. So there is some window, you can say, for delaying that activity. You have to take advantage of this. By what method? What comes to your mind? You have to take the advantage by arranging the resources in that way. If there is some resource that is very costly, or if there is some resource which is getting over allocated, you can just reduce that resource from that non-critical activity for a few days and assign it on something that is critical. This is how you have to actually use the software, not just by hitting some commands. You have to just derive some output of it out of it, right? So total float and free float. Total float is actually the total of all the floats available in the project, and free float is only to a specific activity. So you have to find that. You will come to know that when we'll actually go and learn this software. You can actually find out in the software float that is available, or a free float that is available for every activity. So you know how much we can deal with that activity without hitting any schedule targets, right? So this you have to use as a tool. You have to use it to arrange your resources, reduce some burden on overheads maybe. This is how you use it, and help the management to maybe save some money and get promoted, right? So we'll move ahead. Now I just want to seek permission from everyone to let you know about a paid program that IRF is actually bringing towards you. I'm just seeking permission from everyone. Please write in the comment box. I'm just seeking permission from everyone to let you know about a paid program, okay, of learning a software from IRF. Obviously, I'm going to train you. Okay, sure. I'll just share this. Thank you so much. I'll move ahead with that. So this is a 7-day Microsoft project. We are right now starting with Microsoft project only. Primavera P6 will come later. So this is a 7-day online course. Okay, just the way we are learning right now. In this way only you have to learn. So basically, this is a 7-day online course in which you will learn this project, Microsoft project. And if you see the what we can say, the advantages in case of job opportunities for freshers, you can become a project coordinator or a project planning engineer by learning this software. Okay, and for working professionals, it will help you in your career to get promoted and to climb the hierarchy, the ladder. And it will also give you some, since you have already experienced, you have seen the site work, it will give you some broader sense ideas about a project, and it will make you a manager. It will help you to take managerial decisions, right? So the eligibility is simple. You should be BE, BTech, third year plus students are okay, since they have already learned the estimation, I guess. थोड़ा बहुत कुछ तो सीखा रहेगा. Then architectures are also welcome. Diploma people should learn this. You will get the basic knowledge of working on site and project planning and management principles. Okay, these skills are actually needed. Okay, so this is an online webinar system course. Classroom training will be there. There will be live case studies, assignments, demonstration, practice. As I had told you already, someone was asking me whether you are going to teach me the commands or actually is going to help me some way. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a typical residential project, okay, as a sample to learn this. Since I have worked on residential projects earlier most of the time, and the lesson contracting, I'm going to take that first. And if you learn even one project from end to end, whether it's residential project or contracting, you will be able to apply it everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to actually make you prepare a whole schedule and try to hit some commands and take some output out of it, right? So this is the way I'm going to teach you. I'm not going to teach you all the commands. It is not possible. The software is really very deep. There are many things. inside it. I'm just going to teach you which that matters, right? And which is used industry wide. Then language, obviously English is what I'm going to follow. If someone is not able to understand, I may use some other language also, like Marathi and Hindi, only for some specific things. I cannot talk Microsoft project in Marathi, sorry. Then there is a certification, obviously. A certificate is needed, and it will be jointly issued by Institute of Real Estate and Finance and Optiv Consultants, that is my firm. Okay, so we'll move ahead. Okay, so in this 7 days, what you will learn is this. Okay, you will be able to create expert level schedule. Basically, preparing a schedule is a very big task. You are starting from a scratch, and you have to make a big project inside a software. It does take time. Then there are some exercises, obviously. You will be able to learn how to make a WBS, sequence them. There will be some logical sequencing or linking of activities. Then resources. So in Microsoft project, I need to tell you that you have to enter everything, all the resources in the resources sheet, whether it's the staff or machinery, everything. This is what the way Microsoft project works. Primavera works in a different way. We'll come to that. Then over allocation. Okay, this is a very important thing because you cannot over allocate a resource. You have to actually manage the resources properly. Then setting baselines, tracking them, and taking some decisions based on this is very important. Whether your project is getting delayed, how much it is getting delayed, how do you get it back on track, what you should do, all those things come under that. Then there are some project variances. So these are basically the indicators. This indicates whether your project is in good health or not. So the project variance is something you will have to learn. There are many types of variances actually that you have to learn inside the software. Then the reports. So basically this is your aim, right? We have to basically enter data. Then the project or the software will process it, and it will give you some output. And that output is what is should be mattering to you. It is what will help you to take decisions, right? So graphical reports, there are n number of reports in both the software, and we will derive all of them. We'll try to read them, what the report is trying to tell you. I'll try to make you understand what the report is trying to tell you. Okay, and how to maneuver your site based on this report, or how do you use the report to talk with your directors or the upper management, and how do you help them to take decisions based on these reports. This is what the aim of the software is, right? Okay, then we'll move ahead. Okay, so pricing. 7-day course fee 8,000 rupees plus GST. This is the fees we charge for this 7-day course. Generally, okay, generally. We'll move ahead. Okay, today's offer. So basically, uh, since everyone is at home right now, and COVID is there, lockdown is there, many people are inside their home, and your working hours are just getting wasted. Companies do spend a lot on training, right? They want their staff to get trained, right? But what happens that the companies generally do not allow you to, or they may not allow you to learn in working hours because it will hit your productivity. Right now is the right time. It's the best time to learn. You are at home. You can make use of this time which is available at your disposal, and just jump back off with a bang on your workplace with a new skill in your mind. Right? It will help you. And about 1,500 rupees, you are getting the certificate. Please understand that it will help you. Consider this as an investment. Don't consider it as a cost, right? It is an investment which will bear you fruits very soon. You will be able to get promoted, you will be able to get more than this every month. 1500 rupees का तो hike आराम से मिल जाएंगे आपको every month if you learn the software. And for the people who are having their own projects, who are the owners, this software will help you monitor your project in a very better way. You will be able to actually save many costs, time driven costs especially. Okay, so this was for information about this 7-day online course. And you do have time to take decision. It's not that you have to do it today itself or now itself. What will happen is that who all are attending this right now, okay, you will after the session you will get an email from IRF, and there will be a form in that, and there will be a payment link in that, and you have time till Sunday. Okay, what is the date on Sunday? I'll just check. I don't know. Till then you can take the decision. 19th it is. Okay, till 19th Sunday you can take a decision and make a payment, right? The offer is valid only till Sunday. Okay, so we'll move ahead now with our today's session, right? This was just for information. So make sure that you make use of this time available to you. Okay. Okay, so now very soon we are going to actually dive into the project, okay, or the software. So make sure that you are focusing. These are the benefits of Microsoft project. As you have already seen, the Microsoft project is the most used software in the world, as I had showed you the report also. And it is a very simple software actually. We'll go to the software also and we'll see that also. It is a very simple software. So basically, since it is a mainstream software, many people use it. So what happens that all your stakeholders, right, whether it's your contractors, whether your clients, they're using India. In India, maximum people use Microsoft Project, right? So this will be by default your choice, because you have to be on the same platform with your clients. So you have to learn Microsoft Project also. And in case of application, it is a really good software. It gives you good outputs. Managing resources is good. Analyzing everything is really good. It helps you to take decisions. As I have written over here, the motto of learning the software is to make sure it works for you as a tool and assists in decision making. This is what the aim is. Our aim is not to learn the software. Keep that in mind. Software may change. It changes every 4 years, I guess. Something will change in that, and you cannot just rely on one software for whole life. You have to learn how to utilize it, how to make good use of it. That is the aim. Okay. It creates broader sense picture in front of you, the software, and it helps in taking company level strategic decisions like cash flow. Okay, so let us start with MS Project 2019. We'll just dive into the software now. Okay, and we'll try to hit some commands. Since it is the first introductory lecture, what I will cover is I will cover a few important things which are highly important in the project, and we will also try to hit some few initial command. Okay, so for those people who are going to enroll, please note that you don't need to worry about software installation. We will help you with that. Okay, so should I share my screen now? Okay, so please check whether my screen is available, whether you can see my screen. Okay, you can see my screen, right? Okay, we'll move ahead. So whenever you will open this software, Microsoft project, it will look like this. Hmm? So we'll just open a blank project right now. Okay, so this is how it looks. So as you can see, as I had told you, this is a very simple software. What I mean by this is that most of you have worked on Excel or Microsoft Word or PowerPoint before this. So the whole layout is similar. There is nothing new in the layout, as you can see. Even for the people who are seeing the software for the first time, this is very similar to advanced Excel, okay, or PowerPoint. But the commands change, and a few other things will be changing. So I'll just open a file which is already made. Okay, so this is a typical residential tower. You can see over here. These are the various activities you can see one by one. This is a WBS actually, but the activities are laid down according to the sequence that needs to be followed. You can actually interlink them to follow sequence, but most of the time you have to make sure that you get the RCC first and then brickwork. At least that basic thing you have to maintain, right? On the right side, you can see the Gantt chart. It is showing a few activities in red, right? Those are critical activities. And the ones in the blue are non-critical. And in as I told you about WBS, so we are going to break it. See, for example, RCC is broken down into substructure, superstructure. In substructure, then there is footing, then there is plinth, then there are columns from footing to plinth. You have to actually make this WBS in such a way that it is easy to track, and this is the way the project manager executes the site or the activities on the site, right? So you have to make sure that it is in that way only, because it will help you to track easily. Then there is superstructure, then there are some slabs, first slab, second slab, then inside the slab also I have broken them down, and they are having their own individual durations, right? And for the people who think that calculating the durations is easy, absolutely not. Calculating the duration is the most important thing you have to do when you actually make a project, and there is some base to it, which is obviously beyond the scope of this video. Then there are some resources over here. You can see the staff, project manager, senior engineer, junior engineer, everyone over here. Then there are some materials. Then there are some fixed costs also, right? Which are there. Entering this is also very important. The way you enter this really matters. Okay. Then we'll go to report, some report. Okay. Basically, that is the output of everything you do. Okay, it is showing a report on slipping tasks. Basically, these are the tasks which are actually not going on as per schedule. I'll just show you some another report. Project overview किधर है? हाँ. Okay. So this is the project overview report. Only 1% of the project is complete. Then there is earned value. Yeah. So earned value is the most important thing. It is like the result of everything, and it helps you in taking great decisions. Understanding earned value is a hassle. I'll make sure that you understand it properly when we dive into the future videos. But this single report can help you take great decisions, and it will actually let you report the overall health of the project to your director or to your senior manager, right? And it will actually make them or help them in taking decisions, some decisions regarding maybe some costs or some resources which need to be deployed, some extra resources maybe. And these are actually designated in costs. So basically it shows you how much you have actually done on site, what work you have done on site, and where you are leading to. Okay, there are some indicators also over here. These are some indicators: CV, SV. These are some indicators which then there is SPI, CPI, SPI. So these indicators help you to actually take decisions regarding costs and time. Okay, so let us see now how much time we have consumed. Okay. Okay, so we'll move ahead now. We'll try to hit some commands. What I'll do is I'll just close this project, and I'll just hit some commands which you need to hit when you start a new project. Okay. So this is a new file. Okay. There are some things you need to actually go and change in the options. Whenever you open a new project, you have to make these changes. So you have to change the date format over here in general, because what happens that whenever you create a report, there are some other reports also, maximum of which actually get exported to Excel, Microsoft Excel. So you have to make sure that this date format is in such a way that Excel can read it. By default, it is actually in this format whenever you open a new project, but you have to make sure that it is in a format which Excel can read. Okay, then there is nothing else you can change. You have to change the currency over here. Generally the currency is in dollars. You have to change it into INR. Then scheduling में you have to change. The most important thing is that over here manually schedule. यहाँ पर आपको ऑटो schedule करना है. वो क्यों हमें पता चल जाएगा. Then you have to select the start and end time of your project. सुबह कितने बजे काम चालू करते हो, at what time you start, and week starts on Monday. Okay, these are the things you have to actually take care when you launch a new project. बाकी तो कुछ change करना नहीं है इतना. In advance also you have to change a few things which are not as per our requirements by default. Okay, so what we'll do now, since the time which I'm seeing, we need to actually hurry. So I'll go ahead with the presentation. So you can see the presentation, right? We'll move ahead. Okay, so now we will come to Primavera. We are going to launch the Primavera also. We are going to see that also. Okay. Basavraj, please refresh your browser. Okay, so benefits of Primavera. You need to understand that both these software are different. For example, most of you must be knowing that Android and iOS are two different software, right? The way they work are totally different, but they do or serve the same purpose of you using your mobile phone, right? And make you or allow you to make a call maybe, but the base is different. Similarly, in case of Primavera and Microsoft Project, the base is different, and the way these softwares work or the way you have to interact with them or the user interface is different. And plus, Primavera is having some additional benefits also over Microsoft Project, which are over here. I'll just read through them. It is the most widely used software in large organization, okay, especially in Gulf countries or in huge projects. Even in India it is used, but it is used in huge projects, especially by soba developers maybe, or I don't know exactly, but big companies like L&T use this. Okay, the reason I'll tell you. The next point is the reason actually. The way Microsoft Project works is similar to Excel. You can create a new file in that, right? The way you create a new Excel sheet, or the way you can create a new presentation, in a similar way the Microsoft Project also works, and you can send that file to anyone. But Primavera works in a different way. Primavera is actually having a database system. What I mean by database is that all the data of the project, it's stored in cloud or in some database of the company or the company servers, and from them, from there you have to extract it every time you enter and make some changes, and it gets saved over there again, and anyone can access it from anywhere. So suppose the project manager is on site and someone else is in the head office, both of them can access it at same time, because it is stored in the cloud in most of the organizations. That is why it is used in large organizations. Then it has multi-user capability, as I had told you. Then it has unlimited baselines as compared to 11 in MSP. So Microsoft Project has only 11 baselines, which can be set, but Primavera has unlimited. Then you can export the data to HTML. By HTML, I mean that you can create a website out of the data that is there inside Primavera. So you can keep it as an information, or you can publish a website out of it, which will show current status of the project. It is very highly advanced actually, but it's good. And lastly, the major difference that is there between both of them is about OBS and EPS. So OBS is organizational breakdown structure. So for those people who don't know what is OBS, you may even Google it later, but basically OBS means the hierarchy in your company. So for example, the topmost person is the CEO or the managing director. Then there is CEO. Then there is general manager of various departments. Then there is under general manager, there is project manager maybe, or senior engineer of all the different departments. Then there are junior engineers, right? So this is a hierarchy of any organization, or the breakdown structure of any organization. So you can actually enter this in Primavera. As I had told you, in Microsoft Project we have to enter the staff in the resources, right? But that is not the case in Primavera. It is different. And about EPS, so EPS is basically enterprise project structure. What do I mean by enterprise project structure is that, see, Microsoft Project is a Primavera P6 is a software which can actually help you to manage what we can say portfolio or program. As you must be knowing, multiple projects combined is called a program, and multiple programs combined is called a portfolio. So that kind of data can also be entered in Primavera P6. I'll show you that how it is depicted. Okay, so next, what is the next slide? This is the last slide actually. Okay, let's start with Primavera P6. It is by Oracle. Oracle is a very huge company which provides ERP systems. Okay, and plus this software. So we'll go into the software now. And once we are finished with the software, then we are done. As you already know, you have time till Sunday. Keep that in mind. You will get the email from IRF, and probably you will get some email from my side also. Let's see how I do about it. Just to connect on social media, maybe. I'll just share my screen. 1 second. The software is opening. I just hope that everyone can see my screen. Please type in the comment box. Okay. Start with Primavera P6 then. I don't know why I'm not able to see the screen. There's some internet issue maybe. Okay. So whenever you will open the Primavera P6, first thing I need to tell you, whenever you are installing Microsoft project, it can be installed just the way we install Microsoft Excel or PowerPoint, the way Microsoft actually gets installed. Okay, it's easy. But in case of Primavera, you need to install a database also in your PC. I'll just show you a database, my database. So this file, the file which is in front of you, this database file, this is actually the file which is having all the data of my Primavera, and this file is generally stored in the cloud by the companies or in their own servers. So we'll go into the Primavera P6 now. So whenever you will open this software, you will see something like this, especially for the people who install the software for the first time. You will be able to see some default projects inside this, something like this. Okay, so this Madain is actually which I have entered, but whenever you will install, you will see this E&C, engineering, manufacturing, product development, all this will be there by default. These are just sample so what we can say projects. These are not for your working. What I'll do is I'll just open the project which I have created inside. Okay, yeah. So about enterprise project structure, first I will show you that. The first thing which you have to do actually, first things first, there are some admin preferences you have to do. Basically, you have to go over here in admin preferences, and you have to select the industry as engineering and construction. This is the first thing you have to do. Then there are some user preferences also that you have to do, like the time unit over here, day, and it can be in hours also. Sorry, yeah, hour. Currency you have to change. Right now it is in US dollar. I have not changed it, I guess. You can change it to INR. Okay, these are the things which you have to actually do first thing. Then you will see something like this, and I'll show you what I mean by enterprise project structure. So this is actually the EPS, or the enterprise project structure. Okay, so in this you can see that basically what I mean by enterprise project structure is that, for example, take one company in as an example. Let us take suppose my company, Optave. Okay, so for example, the enterprise name is Optave. So under that, I am doing multiple programs. In that program, there are various projects. So I may do, for example, there is a department which totally focuses on energy under my company, and then there is engineering and construction. This is totally different program. The type of projects which are under this are totally different than IT, right? So for example, you take an example of a company which is doing multiple type of programs. For example, take you can take example of Soba maybe. No, you can take example of Shapurji Palonji. Okay, so take an example of Shapurji Palonji. So it is having a vertical which is totally focusing on contracting, right? And then there is a vertical which is actually constructing real estate or houses or buildings, residential buildings, right? And then there may be some other what we can say vertical which is providing consulting to other firms or other companies, right? That can be possible in any one under company. So this actually helps you manage everything inside this one software. Microsoft project cannot do that. Okay, so you have to actually enter this. You can actually just remove everything and do as per your own company. So go into. I'll just open one project now and show you, and we'll just finish now. Okay, just few more minutes. So under Madain, for example, okay, this is a company name named Madain. Then there are two departments which are working under the whole company. That is a mechanical department and civil. Okay. Then there is a consulting uh, program, you can say, and then there is maintenance. In civil, there is architecture, and then there is structure. So what I'll do is I will just open one project. To open a project, you have to go over here. Sorry, this is a new project. I want to open a new project. Yeah. So for example, there is a project under the program architecture of the company Madain. Okay. I'll open that. And obviously this project or this program is under civil department. I'll open this sample project. You can see the layout is totally different, right? Do you notice that? It is totally different than Microsoft project. Yeah, I mean, these things are going to remain the same, but the overall user interface is different. You're going to see the critical path over here. You're going to see the activities over here. You're going to link them. Then there is a window which actually shows you information over here down. It will show you the predecessors, resources, everything it can show you over here. Labor, material, whatever it is there, it will be shown over here. Then we'll just go to some report. We'll just okay, before going to reports, one minute. I want to show you something which is very important. So basically what happens that when you make a OBS in this software, you have to link that to that specific organization breakdown structure. So over here we have OBS. So for example, there is a manager who is managing the architecture department. Then you have to link that over here. I'll show you this thing, the chart basically. OBS over here, we're having chart view is not opening. Wait a second. Yeah. So this is the chart view. So under the enterprise, there are various departments like engineering and construction, energy. Then there is a chief director under whom there is a director of mechanical. Then there is a director of civil. Under director of mechanical, there is HOD of consulting. Then there is HOD of maintenance. So these are the actually programs, you can say, and these are the people associated with taking the decision regarding these specific programs. So this you can create in uh, Primavera, but not in MS Project, right? Again, we'll just go to one report, we'll just read it and we'll finish today. We'll just go to earned value report over here. I'll just try to run that. Yeah, over here, it is actually telling you to export it directly or send it. This is a very good command actually. Yeah, so all the projects, everything, and the values of what we can say earned value are shown over here. So basically, BCWP, that is your earned value. This is shown over here. This is a good report. It is providing all the information. Okay, we'll finish now. Then we'll close this project and we'll call it off for the day. Okay, then we are done for today. It was great to be. Yeah. Just forgot about that. Any questions you have, please type. Is anyone having any questions? Please type in the comment box. I'll answer them right away. And please keep in mind that you have deadline till Sunday for enrolling into the Microsoft Project 7-day course. Okay. Yes, please ask a question. Please type. Okay. Neman is asking, is there a placement support? Okay. Okay, Nemani is asking whether there is placement assistance. So Nemani, basically what we are doing is that currently we are just focusing on the webinars and everything. For placement support, IRF will have a talk with you. Okay, and I don't know actually whether they can provide that, but they will. You can just talk with them. Okay, you can have a talk with them. Ajay Kumar is asking, I am from Metro Projects. Can I get related sheets? Basavraj, what do you mean by mic permission? Please type it over here, whatever you want. You are from Metro Projects. Okay. Regarding those sheets, actually, there is no sheets as such, anything. But I can help you make it. That is what the thing is. Basavaraj, you will have to type it, please. You will have to type it. Okay. Someone is asking, Anmol is asking, certificate is of IRF or of, okay. It is a joint certification basically, a joint certification between IRF and Optiv. Okay. Please ask a question, Basavaraj, over here by typing. Anything else anyone wants to ask me? Okay. So Basavaraj is asking me whether the paid course will be having one-to-one interactive webinar. Yes, Basavraj. In a similar way, the way we are doing it over here, in that way only we are going to do it whenever you enroll. You will get the details in the email also, don't worry. No, no, not recorded videos. See, putting recorded videos will not help you to get your query solved there and there itself. So it is going to be live. Okay. Anmol is asking for sample of certificate. Uh, Sample of certificate. What are you going to do with that actually? Don't worry. You will get a official certificate from IRF and Optiv joint. Okay. Don't worry. Yes, Ajay Kumar is asking whether we can refer this course to our friends. Absolutely. You can do that. What you can do is you will receive an email from IRF. Okay. So at that time, we'll have a talk, we'll get connected, and you can bring your buddy. Okay. Don't worry. Okay. Shreya Maske is asking whether I will be teaching it or someone else. Yes, Shreya, I am going to teach it. Okay. Basarvaj is asking whether the paid webinar covers both MSP and Primavera. No, Basavraj. Right now, as I told you earlier, we are starting with Microsoft Project only because currently that is what matters to the people of India, right? It is the most widely used. Primavera will come in the future, but right now, urgently, you need Microsoft Project to learn. And in 7 days, I'm covering the whole software, right? It is not generally possible. We generally take at least, what we can say 10 to 12 days. But since it is a live webinar, we can have interaction there and there itself. So we can do it fast. Yeah, it is. It is. Ranganath is asking, is that 7 days enough for covering the syllabus? Yes, it is enough for learning the software, for learning Microsoft Project only. There is only Microsoft Project 7-day course right now. Primavera will come later. And yes, uh, the way I'm teaching is not by telling you about all the commands, right? I'm going to focus on things that really matter. So we will be able to cover it in 7 days. What does matter to you? Only the things that are actually most widely used, right? And you should be able to just pull out output from the software. That is what my aim is. Yes, Anmol, you will get study material. There are some curated notes from my side also, which I have prepared, and there are some notes which are officially released by Microsoft Project or Microsoft Corporation, which I'll be sharing with you. Don't worry. And the notes which I am giving you are made in such a way that whenever you will try to, in the future, whenever you will try to do something in Microsoft project, you go back and refer to this and you will be able to do it. Notes are no, that simple. Okay. Ranganath is asking daily how many hours. Okay, for 7 days it will be 1.5 hour daily. Okay, so basically we are covering about 10.5 hours, and that is enough. Yes, Basavaraj, daily I'm going to teach you for 7 days. And to mention, you will get a recorded video also. Yes, so that you can just go back to it, and whenever you are stuck, you just watch the video and do it in your own PC. Yes, right now we are going to start with MSP only. Nemani is asking about productivity. Yes, we are going to work on productivity also. There is a standard chart. Yeah, don't worry. Okay, Anmol is asking if I don't have MS Project installed or facing some problem installing, then what I have to do. As I have told you already, I will guide you regarding installation of the software. Don't worry about that. You will be able to install the software, and if there are any activation issues, that also I'll solve, and I'll get you going with that. Don't worry. About productivity, I'm going to share you, I'm going to teach you actually how to find out productivity based on some officially released documents which give you productivity details. Don't worry. Okay, Mohammed Saqib is asking laptop is necessary for this course or it is supported on mobile. It cannot be done on mobile. You have to have a laptop or a PC which is having Microsoft project installed in it. If it is not installed, we'll help you how to install it and all that. We'll instruct you regarding that. And Mohammed Saqib, actually, you have to learn this software by actually doing it, not by just watching the videos. Please, you can do that on YouTube also, and that does not really help. You have to do it yourself. You have to follow my instructions and do it in your PC. Neemani, I have answered your question. More if there are any issues in Microsoft project installation, we'll try to solve them. Don't worry. Okay. So Basavaraj is asking whether the language of teaching. Basavaraj language of teaching will be primarily English. Okay. And Hindi and Marathi may just jump in. It depends how we interact. Okay, Anma. Thank you. Okay, Basavaraj is asking, are you going to share what exactly a planning engineer do at site? Yes, actually, when we are going to actually dive into the software, when we are going to do some data entry, and then we'll be doing some resources and some reports will be generated, and we are going to actually update the project, right? So at that time, what you have to do, or on what stage, what you have to do on site, I'm going to tell you that. Don't worry. Ajay Kumar is saying, great session. Thank you, Ajay Kumar. And he's saying we can learn basis, funda, and practice with sheets. I'm not able to understand your question. Ajay Kumar. I didn't get this. Ajay Kumar, what do you mean by we can learn basis funda? Basic funda, do you mean to say? Yeah, I mean, you will be able to learn everything on a live project, right? So whenever you will go back at your workplace, you will be not facing any issues in understanding this, because I will be able going to teach you the way it is done on site or the way it is done in companies. So you will be very comfortable applying it in your company. Don't worry. बेसिक फंडा तो आ जाएगा, प्रैक्टिस भी कर लोगे, नो प्रॉब्लम, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. Will be able to master it actually. Basavaraj is saying, let's hope many of the joiner are going to become planning engineers as soon as lockdown is lifted. It's great, Basavaraj. Basically, it's a good point which he has highlighted. Sorry, I'm just drinking some water. So he's saying that many of the joiners are going to become planning engineers. This is there. This is going to be there. But I want to also highlight that learning a software does not mean that you have to become planning engineer based on that. It is going to be there. You will be able to climb the hierarchy. You will be able to move from site engineer to planning engineer. All those things are there. But in long term, when you learn this software, imagine that after 10 years of your service, you become a project manager, okay, or maybe an owner of a company or something like that, at a senior level, you can say. And at that time, if you are able to use this software, right, or you have mastered it for 10 years, imagine the additional impact it can have on your career, or it will keep you ahead of everyone else because you are having technology in your hand, right? So I can see that many people or project managers today also who know how to use the software, they are just doing great at their workplace. There are some people I know who are actually uh, have gray hairs now, but still they are learning this software and taking the best advantage of it. Yes, Ajay Kumar, you will be able to get the basic idea also, the expert idea also, and practice also be there. Don't worry. Anything else anyone want to ask? Any other questions? Okay, Basavraj is asking any planning about starting regular webinars. Regular webinars, we are into it. Don't worry. So yes, uh, we'll stop now. Most of the questions are answered. Thank you all. So we'll just call it for the day. What are you asking? Seats का कुछ नहीं है. Just don't worry about that. Just enroll. Don't worry. Okay then. We'll call it for the day. Thank you. Good night. It was a great session. I enjoyed teaching everyone and introducing a new technology to you for those who have not seen this. And for the people who already know about this, make sure that you use it in your favor at your workplace and get promoted soon. Okay, great. Thank you. Bye. Peace. I'm just closing.